You can keep your fancy ales, you can drink them by the flagon, and the only brew for the brave and true comes from the mighty mimic.
Get back here, you cowardly snout band!
Shut up, you lily-livered, yellow-bellied bitch!
I don't know what that means, sir, but I'm still very much offended.
Hey. Sorry, patrons. Mickey and I are just in the middle of a disagreement.
And it'll be over just as soon as I hit him with this.
Whoa, Mickey, what are we doing? We're just friends, and we're having this kind of problem over a simple land dispute? There surely has to be another way.
What alternative do you suppose there is?
We hire people to kill each other on our behalf.
Sounds good to me, but how does one go about forging an army?
I'm so glad you asked, Mickey. It's all detailed here in this wonderful book, Strongholds and Followers. Look how we have a hardcover copy of the book early. Look how amazing it is as I turn the pages.
Wow. Look at this amazing craftsmanship from MCDM Productions. Thanks, Matthias Colvile.
Alright, now that you all see that we had the book, I don't need it anymore. Strongholds and Followers is a supplement for 5th edition D&D created by MCDM Productions. Inside, you'll find an intricate system for players to create their own strongholds, as well as raise armies for war. We'll be breaking it down into 2 main parts as we take a look at it today.
Firstly, we'll be starting on the section on creating and managing your stronghold.
That's right, scumbag. The stronghold section talks about the 4 main types of strongholds, that being keeps, towers, temples, and establishments. Keeps are for raising your armies and maintaining them. Towers are for all those spellcasters out there interested in messing with magics. Temples are for paying respects to those sky daddies we all hold dear, and establishments are for the smart people who mainly want to make money.
We won't bore you with all the details on how you make these things. Really, it all just comes down to a bit of time and money. But we will go a bit into depth on what exactly it is you can do with these strongholds.
Keeps, beyond allowing you to raise troops for mass combat, also give you the chance to train for some extra bonuses. Like piercing training, where you do an extra 1d6 damage to creatures wearing heavy armor, or versatile training, which gives you a +1 to armor class when wielding a versatile weapon. These bonuses last until you decide to change them out at your keep during an extended rest. Included in the book are optional versions of the keep, so that roaming barbarians and pirates can also raise hordes of soldiers.
Then there's the tower, which gives spellcasters the ability to research the arcane in order to modify and enhance spells by rolling on various charts based on principles of the spell in question. So, let's say, for instance, the spell Regenerate. Depending on your roll, Mr. Spellcaster might now know Blazing Regenerate, which, after restoring a target's hit points, along with any severed limbs, might have them leave behind a trail of fire as they moved.
And that's what we in the business call a hot heel.
Get in the corner.
Get
in the corner until you've learned your lesson. The third kind of stronghold which you may wish to build up is a temple. Now, your temple in no way needs to be dedicated to those fuddy-duddy celestials everybody is always talking about. In fact, the being which you build your sanctum to could be just about anything from fiends to fae. And once you've built up a proper place of worship, you unlock concordance, which is a measure of just how well you've done to please your sky daddy, so you can ask them for favors. These favors mostly consisting of a random assortment of servitors your god might send down to help you. Take this guy, for example. A servitor, type 2 from the Court of Fiends. Isn't he pretty?
Can I come back now?
Have you learned your lesson?
Yes.
Okay, you can come back. Put down the sword, Matt.
The last of the 4 types of strongholds is the establishment. The establishment is effectively a thriving business from which you gain not only a giant amount of gold from, but also a lot of information regarding upcoming journeys. It's also the most versatile stronghold in terms of flavor, as it can quite literally be any business you can think of. It could be a smith's shop, a marketplace, or even a thriving tavern that you use to pump out money and information. You could even call it something dumb like the Mighty Mimic and be scamming your business partner out of 75% of the profits.
Wait, what? How we've described these strongholds might make them sound as if they're fit to one or even just a handful of classes. But there's a second layer to strongholds which give them class-specific flavor. Each class is given different flavor-based elements regarding their sphere of influence, such as a bard's stronghold, making the surrounding environment more dramatic with well-timed lightning, or rangers, making the nearby game plentiful and larger than normal. Included with these class-specific traits are also unique follower charts for recruiting, special stronghold actions, and improved class features.
I think I speak for both of us when I say that the Strongholds section of this book is far and beyond what someone would need to make a suitable system for Strongholds.
Highly recommended, and we both give it a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 what?
I don't know, it just sounded okay. 5 out of 5 flagons of dragon breath.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Alright, we'll dive into the second part of the book now. Followers and the warfare system.
Followers are a very interesting take on how to write up an NPC without going through the normal character creation process. There are 2 types of individual followers, and then units meant for warfare. The 2 individual followers are retainers and artisans.
Retainers, as described by the book, are effectively less famous adventurers who show up to you and pledge their service. Retainers by design are weaker than your characters, so they don't outshine players, but are still cool and memorable at the same time. They can act as leaders back at your stronghold for when you're away, or those individuals who go out and spread your law through the domain of your land.
The second kind of individual followers are artisans. These are most likely not adventurers, but instead people who come to help build your stronghold further up or work inside of it to your benefit. These include a variety of roles, such as alchemists who can brew potions, smithies to craft weapons, or masons who can maintain your keep. There are a wide variety of artisans, and attracting a group of them can lead to some very special things.
And now we get to military units and the warfare system. This was a bold move by MCDM, and we here at the Mighty Mimic respect them for giving us the ability to kill people on a much larger scale in Dungeons & Dragons.
Somebody once told me.
But really, the bold move here was that MCDM made the system open content, meaning that anyone not only has access to the warfare rules, but also is free to use them and reference them in their own published works.
In terms of actual content, this is legitimately great. It includes not only a great strategic form of mass combat that occurs alongside a normal encounter, but also much simpler versions for groups who like the idea but don't want to deal with any strategy whatsoever. Units are incredibly easy to make and run. We've tested it out a few times and we believe that while it might take a second for players to really get into it, it definitely does click well.
And as such, we'll give this side of the book 5 out of 5 as well.
5 topaz dragons out of 5.
That's a good point, Mickey. We haven't brought up the creatures, magic items, or even the campaign, which are also in this book. But even though this is a review, there are some things that we feel shouldn't be spoiled. Mystery should still exist, although I will say that the campaign is effectively a way to introduce combat to players, and that a lot of it comes from a game which Matt Colville ran slightly on his channel.
Enough of this talk! Give a final verdict, so that my iron golems can decimate your units!
Fine. This book is a must-have for all those DMs and players out there who want to set up a base or command some units. Now, if you'll excuse us, my dragonborn archers and infantry are about to kill your stupid golems.